Let's get into spoilers of Mortal Kombat 2. Are you ready for this? So off rip, we all had a complaint about, at least Mortal Kombat fans, we had a complaint about Cole Young. Who's Cole Young? People who don't know the Mortal Kombat games are probably wondering, yeah, why is everyone complaining about this random guy? Louis Tan, I believe, is a great actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. You might know him if you've seen Cobra Kai, Into the Badlands, Wu Assassin. He's in a lot of stuff. He really, I think he is a great actor. He was in, I was going to say Iron Fist, but you know, I think some fans have some comments about Iron Fist. But again, it's not because of him, if anything. It's same thing with this character. Cole Young is a product of the studio that wanted to make something that would introduce the world of Mortal Kombat to the audience. But the issue with that, with a lot of fans, is you have characters for that. You could have Liu Kang, you could have Sonya Blade, you could have Johnny Cage, Jax, Striker. Like you could literally have so many characters. Cabal. Like you could Kano. So many of these characters could literally just, here's their story, and then they bump into this world. But then you're like, we're gonna create this new character. But the issue with this one is he was kind of stale. He was just, you know, I am a martial artist, I have a daughter, and I have a wife. And then later on, someone says, "Hey, you're Scorpion's descendant. You're Scorpion's descendant." Then that's it. That was his character. That's all. He's an amazing martial artist. I think he's a good actor as well. And it just sucks that for me, when I watched that first one, it wasn't the best. So when his character died in the movie, people like the fight and him getting his head smashed was actually well done, to the point where it kind of sucked for the character. I'm not saying I'm over here like, well, come on, Cole Young, come on, you can do this, come on. It was more of they shot it in a way where he was kicking Shao Kahn's ass. It was possible for the win. And of course, Shao Kahn being Shao Kahn, he has this amulet that makes him somewhat immortal. And so he kills him. And it was funny because the audience were like, oh my God. One guy, yeah. One guy started clapping, and that made it funny. I'll be honest. But yeah, it sucked that happened, but it kind of showed that they were listening to us. And I think what they need to do for the third one is just literally write some of these things and elevate the story, like give us some emotion for these characters. The action is there. Clearly, from this movie, the action was there. Freaking, what else? When Katana was introduced and she was fighting Johnny Cage, two new characters that we haven't seen before in this, you know, iteration of the films. So we got to see their fighting style. Johnny Cage being kind of, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, and then being rusty of his martial arts skills. It kind of makes sense for Katana to whoop his ass completely. And I think they did a fantastic job to show her ability and her skill. And then also maybe her like her way of holding back and not wanting to kill people, because then it shows for the whole narrative when her mom and dad were pretty much murdered. You know, Sindel was just turned into a zombie, which they could have done more with that character, because in the games there's so much done with all these characters. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and I think I would say there's only so much you can do when it comes to writing characters, giving them enough screen time for us to be more established with them. And literally, it's going to be very tricky for these guys to bring in as a good amount of characters, because Mortal Kombat has so many characters. If you're playing the games, you know a lot of the lore. Keep in mind, they've reset time, I think 4 times, 3 times. I'm not too 4 or 3 times. One of those. And so because of that, we've seen different versions, iterations, different storylines, different lores. The recent one in Mortal Kombat 1 changed a lot of people's past and then interaction with each other, connections. You know, what was it? Sub-Zero is Scorpion now. Scorpion's missing. You know, it's a bunch of different stuff. Mileena and Katana were twin sisters. So Katana has a twin sister, and then also Shao Kahn made a clone of Katana to make Mileena. But then also in this iteration, there's twin sisters who has a disease. One of them has a disease, which is Mileena. It's a whole thing. Let me get back to the movie. I'm sorry. This is the issue here where he would my friend was talking to me. He's like, why didn't they do this? There's this and this thing. There's this and this thing. I would say let them not let them cook. I guess, yeah, let them cook. Because in this moment where I watched Mortal Kombat 1, not a big fan of it. Enjoyed Mortal Kombat 2. I want them to make a 3. And clearly, if they see that the fans like the action, they are asking for a little bit more writing, just a little bit more. I'm not joking when I said it on my other video, my non-spoilers. If they had just added a bit more character for, like, say, Jade and Katana, I feel like it wasn't there. There was a lot of moments in this film where where Jade or somebody would walk in and they would just say things. And pretty much instead of us seeing the character's growth, they would just, Jade would be like, Katana, I was made to be your bodyguard from Shao Kahn, and I've been your friend, Katana. You're like a sister to me. And then Jade, yeah, you are like a sister to me. And okay, well, that's what it comes down to, the writing of it, just them explaining the things and not just showing us. Like if there was a fight with, say, some random thugs, or maybe if it was like a 2-on-2 thing where you see Katana and Jade fighting together, and you get to see how well they're, like, through the fight, you understand that these two have fought with each other for years. And that's the thing we need. That's simple as that. And I would understand, because he was telling me that he felt like the writing was kind of bland. And I would argue with him that the first one had a lot more issues for me. But anyways, again, back to this one. I was worried that Baraka was going to look kind of bad. From the trailer alone, I was not a big fan of the way he looked. But then I was surprised when Johnny Cage showed up and Baraka was kicking his ass. Not surprised by that. It makes sense. But it was the funny moment when Johnny was kind of realizing what he needed to do to survive, which was act and kind of get back into his martial arts skill. But that's the thing, of course, again, when it comes to the writing, where it was it was shortened up, where they were just like, he's getting his ass kicked and he's like, what are you doing? You're an actor. Act. And then he starts fighting very well. Like that was the answer. That he needs to act, so he acts like he's fighting, I guess. But that's just like the little hiccup that I feel, that maybe if there was, I don't know what they would need. I would really, this is me just kind of spewing what I felt about the movie and what like the little clip notes. I'm not there writing on a freaking paper, it's just me just trying to come up with some stuff on the fly when I'm recording. But yeah, so it's little stuff like that. I enjoyed that part. The part where he's just like this, just dodging all of Baraka's moves, and Baraka's just looking at him like, what the hell is happening here? It was a funny thing. And I enjoyed that. Again, going back to, say, a character like Raiden in these movies has clearly been like a god figure, quite literally, because he's a lightning god. But then there's again a moment with, say, him and Johnny Cage, where he explains to the audience, Johnny Cage, you've changed so much. You don't have to tell us. We see it on screen. It's these moments like here, right here. Maybe they felt like Raiden needed to acknowledge that to him or something. It was just a weird thing from him at the beginning saying he doesn't want to be there. And then later on the end, he's clearly trying to be the guy that everyone sees, that everyone needs him to be, which that's what I was asking for before. But it's just a little lacking. Like I said, just a little bit. This movie's so close to being an 8 for me, or like, I would say maybe close to a 9 if they did certain things. Again, going back to certain things that I thought was kind of bad in the trailer, but it surprised me later on in the movie. Shao Kahn. When I first saw him, I was saying his helmet looked like something from Halloween Spirit Halloween, wherever that freaking costume store. When he was on screen, he was menacing, he was brutal, he was just, oh my God. They did a good job. Every time they showed someone's ability on screen, I think they did such a fantastic job. I didn't question it. I was just there for the ride. After the first one, I was just thinking, you know what? I'll check this out. Whatever happens, happens. And I think maybe that mentality made me enjoy it more, where I was super excited. I wanted this movie to be so good from the first one. And I was just like, yes, please, please. I went and saw it, and maybe my expectations were way too high, where this one, mine were just like this. And then surprisingly, they got higher now. I can't wait for the third one. But yeah, it's okay, real quick. I'll just say, out of the fatalities, the Liu Kang and Kung Lao fight was awesome. It was so good. Him spinning the hat everywhere and those two just fighting. The music was really well done. But again, I'll just say my issue here is in the first movie, they kept saying, "You're my brother. You're like a brother to me. Yes, you're my brother. You're my brother to me." And they fight together. And then, he dies. And then in this movie, he's resurrected, and you have oh my god, you have Liu Kane and you have Kung Lao, and Kung Lao, I might have said Kano, my bad. Kung Lao and Liu Kane are fighting, and I just didn't feel like Kung Lao was really established with Liu Kane being the best of friends. They just had little things they said here and there, but it was again just lacking. So when this moment happened, it was such a sad moment for Liu Kane, and I think the actor for Liu Kane sold it very well. But I'll just say between the two movies, narratively, I don't see that these two have a past. So maybe in the third one, give me a flashback. Give me something that shows that Liu Kane, he clearly has a reason to go find his brother and save him and bring him back to life because he's seen other people brought back to life. So why can't he bring his friend back? I don't know if it's a third movie for letting go or actually finding the right person to come back, not just having Kano come back, which we all love Kano. But yeah, that's just another one of mine where it was a great fight. It was fantastic. They just give me it's a weird thing. If the third one could be really, really good, it would make the other ones better because you would get more establishment of these two guys who say that they have a brotherhood for each other, that like care for each other. And then he brings up that Raiden raised Cum Lao, and I was like, did they say that in the first movie? I was so confused by that for a second. But yeah, like that's another one that was so good. And then the last thing I'll say is the katana fatality is just invented in my brain. I might have said that on my other video, or maybe I said it on this one. I'm recording them back to back, so my brain's kind of scattered. But that one was so sick. Just it was spitting on his head, and I was like, God damn, Katana just did that so dirty. The sets were way better on this film than the first film. The first film, I felt like they were just floating in the air, or that one white room was just random, and then every time they were fighting inside a stage, as a stage in Mortal Kombat, it was okay. There were some of those moments in here, but I think the fighting made up for it so much compared to the first one. The first one was like, here's a punch, I kill you. And then this one was just like so different. I can't really go into detail because I have to really write it down. But this is me just saying my thoughts. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? Are you asking for more? Are you think you're done with it? Just comment below. Like, do you think I'm being a little too harsh? Because it's, again, the issue I feel when it comes to me and maybe some other fans is we know too much lore when it comes to Mortal Kombat, and we are expecting them to put a lot of that lore into these films. As much as I'm not a big fan of them not putting it in, if they're able to establish their version of these characters well enough for me to enjoy the movie, I'll be fine. But yeah, what do y'all think? Did y'all like it? Did y'all not? This video is a little long. I don't want to be too long, but it looks like it's going to be that way. Y'all have a good one, as always.